Safety of the White House, as he does several times a week and hundreds of times a year. But a presidential trip is never routine. Any visit outside the White House requires hundreds of people, thousands of hours, and enough communication and security equipment to outfit an army. Since the president travels constantly, the Secret Service is always a step ahead, preparing, what they call advancing, several sites at a time. This team is advancing Baton Rouge, while other teams are on the ground advancing sites in Texas, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Everywhere the president goes, the security bubble goes too.
Every trip the president makes is a challenge. And for us, it's game day every time he leaves the White House property. It's our Super Bowl.
The Secret Service has 5 days to secure this site. The arena at Louisiana State University, where President Bush will deliver the commencement address. For the advance team, it's a challenging site to control, with over 14,000 seats and more than 100 entrances. The protective measures start at the arena, but will expand outwards to include the university and even hundreds of miles beyond the city of Baton Rouge. The preparation is mind-boggling. The security advance begins here with Kim Tate, special agent in charge of the New Orleans field office. The key to success at any location is working hand in hand with the state and local police. Many agents started as cops, so they speak the same language.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to find myself in a room filled with seasoned professionals. I'm Kim Tate.
They discuss every aspect of the trip, assess every danger. Has anyone in the area threatened the president? Have gun sales surged? Have any police uniforms been stolen? To prevent an attack, they have to get inside the heads of the attackers.
So I have a map here. What I want to talk about right now, while we're all here, is the motorcade route coming from the airport.
The team maps out the most secure route for the motorcade.
Out to Veterans Boulevard, brings us to Harding.
Identifies potential sniper positions, pinpoints safe houses along the way, locates the nearest hospitals, and arranges for the president to have his own blood supply.
From here to Government Street,
nothing will be left to chance.
4-lane or divided highway the whole route.
As you prepare your security advance this week, and on game day, when you put that plan into action, keep this in mind. Somewhere, a group of people are meeting just like we are, but their intentions are entirely different than ours. They plan to disrupt, to compromise the secure environment that we provide for the president.
I like to call it the assassin's funnel. You know, you have the lone gunman, you have the suicide bombers to deal with.
It can be a bomb, it can be a package. We have an obligation to try to think ahead, to try to find the things that they might attack next, and try to be ahead of the curve.
When your mission is to protect the president, you don't underestimate the enemy. Protect the man, protect the symbol, protect the office. This is the mandate of the U.S. Secret Service. A purposely unmarked building in downtown Washington, D.C. is the nerve center for thousands in the Secret Service who work in domestic and international operations. This is the headquarters of the Secret Service. The enormous responsibilities for the agency ultimately lie on the shoulders of this man, the director of the Secret Service, Ralph Basham. As a career agent who rose through the ranks, Basham knows the mission here boils down to one thing:
how's everyone today?
Preparation.
We're going to talk about the Baton Rouge trip. If you think about our mission, it's about prevention. We don't want to deal after the fact with an incident. We want to prevent the incident from happening. So that's why so much time and so much effort, so many resources go into the preparation for those kinds of events.
Not many people know what the Secret Service does, and that's exactly how they like it. The image of the agent guarding the president is ingrained in our minds. But the Secret Service does a lot more than protect. Deep inside headquarters are some of the nation's top investigative and research units. The National Threat Assessment Center, the Intelligence Division, the Counterfeit Research Unit, the Electronic Crime Branch, and a tracking center for Secret Service protectees, including former presidents, presidential candidates, and visiting dignitaries. And then there's a room that hums with information so sensitive that its location can never be revealed. The Joint Operations Center. This is where the Secret Service tracks the movements of the president, the First Family, and the Vice President, and where the most important residence in the United States is under constant surveillance. Every entrance, every approach, even the air around the White House is monitored 24 hours a day. To maintain secrecy in radio communications, the primary protectees are assigned a code name. In the past, President Bush was known as Tumbler and Trailblazer. But as soon as the media learns the code, it changes.
They say in the Secret Service, unless you're paranoid, you're usually not successful. There are regular, daily, ongoing threats of a president. That threat always looms. It doesn't go away.
The chilling fact is that someone has always wanted to kill the president. In 1835, President Andrew Jackson's life was spared when shots from a madman's guns misfired. Abraham Lincoln was shot and killed at a theater. James Garfield was killed by an insane man at a train station. Despite the attacks, Americans were reluctant to authorize protection. The very idea of a presidential guard reeked of monarchy and seemed undemocratic. But at the turn of the century, shortly after President William McKinley was assassinated by an anarchist, Congress finally charged the Secret Service with presidential protection. Even then, their authorization had to be renewed annually. 50 years later, a brutal gun battle in front of the president's house settled the question of permanent protection once and for all. The year is 1950, a time when anyone could stroll down Pennsylvania Avenue, even the President of the United States. November 1st, the White House is still under renovation, and President Truman is living across the street at Blair House. Standing guard outside the president's front door is Secret Service agent Floyd Boring.
Truman was upstairs taking a nap. Every day after lunch, he napped. And then he got up, got himself ready to go back to work.
2:15 p.m. Two men approach the front steps. Oscar Callazo, a Puerto Rican nationalist, approaches from the east. Rogelio Torsola approaches from the west.
A man came to the front of the Blair House, and he pulled out a gun.
Boring opens fire, driving him away from the front door. At the same moment, the second assailant opens fire at the guardhouse, hitting Secret Service Private Leslie Kofelt. Kofelt, badly wounded, struggles to his feet, takes aim, and shoots the second assailant.
Torsello had been shot through the ears, right one ear right out the other. They died right on the spot.
27 shots were fired during the violent gun battle. 3 hit Leslie Kofelt. He died later that night, the first Secret Service officer to be killed by an assassin. Outraged by the brazen daylight attack, Congress sent President Truman a bill that would give him permanent protection. Pen in hand, he said, "It's wonderful to know that the work of protecting me has, at last, become legal." The bloody shootout meant that the days of an easily accessible president were gone. The threat of violence would force him to step away from the people who had elected him, toward the well-armed safety of the agents. It's T-4, 4 days until the president arrives. The Secret Service advance team sets up a command center in an undisclosed hotel suite. The room is completely transformed. The beds are removed. Secure phones are brought in. There will be no room service, and the room will not be cleaned.
We'll just play with it. Right. You can make almost, we'll tweak it.
Thank you. We're going to have 5,200